There you go. You're all over this then.
But I haven't
Fun
haven't
time.
done it for a while. I had to move away to get away.
And you're with Martine on Lake Macquarie FM, the new 97.3. Welcome aboard and welcome to my lovely next guest. We have the amazing and talented, can I say as well, Gail Brigden from Fab Fakes exhibition. But you're that and so much more, I'm telling you now. Goodness me, Gail, good morning to you.
And good morning to you.
Thank you so much for making it in today, because goodness me, you are busy putting together this Fab Fakes exhibition.
Yes, it's our third year at the Art House.
Yes.
It is a lot of work, I can tell you.
I can imagine. You've given us a book here, which was this last year's?
That was last year's.
2017. It has the picture of the winner. And of course, Fab Fakes is about artists replicating amazing, famous paintings.
The artist that you're copying has to have been deceased for at least 70 years.
70?
70
wow.
years, that's copyright, yes.
Oh, right, there you go, we've learned something there. And you've got this gorgeous little book that shows last year's winners as well as the competition entries as well. And the talent is just amazing.
You'd really have to be very clever to not pick it from the real.
Absolutely, absolutely. So this will be on exhibition at the Art House in Wyong, Friday the 16th to the 30th of November.
Actually, you can view it the day before if you're around. But it is being actually hung on the Tuesday, judged on the Wednesday, and the Thursday it will be open for exhibition, but we have our official opening on Friday night, 16th.
And when will we know the placements?
That night it will be announced.
Yes. Oh, isn't that wonderful? So people have already entered and made sure they've got their paintbrushes out, ready to go.
Yes, well the cut-off date was the 25th of this month. We made it a little bit later because in the years past we only said New South Wales and ACT.
Yes.
And I had 120 paintings to try and find room for last year and the year before. So this year we made it Australia-wide, and I'm not quite sure how many they've got, but we've added a couple of other extras, as I was telling you about.
Yes, yes. Now you yourself are going to contribute as an artist, as you have done. And what are you going to put together for us this year, or is it under wraps?
No, I've actually finished my painting. I am the great. My great aunt is Dame Nellie Melba. Who is the famous opera singer.
Yes.
Her name was Helen Mitchell. Of course, Helen is Nellie.
Helen is Nellie, that's right.
And Melba is Helen from Melbourne.
Right.
Nellie Melba.
That's
so
how
Dame
she got
Nellie
her
Melba.
professional name.
That's right.
Goodness me.
Yes, so there's a story in that itself, but of course we're doing the centenary of 100 years.
Yes.
From 1914 to 1918, the First World War. And we realised that in my hands I have a beautiful book that Dame Nellie Melba put together and published over in Belgium as a war effort to actually get money together to help our troops.
Isn't that amazing?
Yes, it is.
And
she was very good like
so
that.
she obviously was very interested in art, in fine art as well, and she's put together this book. If I can just grab it, I haven't got gloves on, so I won't put my grubby little fingers on it too much. It's Melba's gift book. It's the most beautiful green, teal green, if people can see that if they look at us on YouTube. Beautiful green, Melba's gift book. And what really struck me was because it's 1914 that she put it out. Because of the printing, the colour photos are actually, or of the pictures, are on a plate. So they're actually then stuck in the book. And it is just simply amazing. And she writes as well. I mean, she's a talented
Well, no,
lady.
That's not her writing.
Oh, that's not her writing?
No, it's a compilation of the wonderful artwork, all Australian artwork, by the way.
All Australian.
All Australian. And on the opposite page is prose all writings of our famous writers.
Of writers
all
and poets. Yes, yeah. Look, we have one here from Katoomba. I mean, all over the place. So she was a collector of art, of poetry.
She was. She was. Yeah. Even though she was a famous opera singer and actually one of the best in the world, they say. And she was she did a lot of work with the royal family, and they were all her best friends.
Wow.
But her hobby was art and prose and all of that sort of thing. So she was very well and knowledgeable about it all.
Very, very arty. Tell me, we don't have any recordings, good recordings.
No, well, I do, but I don't think they're good. And I'll tell you why. In those days, they, I'm talking about before the war and 1900, around that, there weren't, of course, any records. They were recorded, but onto a disc of some sort of, I don't know what it's called, but it was a hard disc.
Yes, a metal disc.
Metal disc. And they were all destroyed.
Yes.
They were in the bombing, in the war.
Were they really?
But some were found and resurrected, and they did put something together. I have got a CD here, but I don't quite know that it's good enough for radio. I think it's a bit screechy.
Yes.
It's a shame.
Well, that might be a project for some sound engineers to try and clean that up a
Wouldn't
bit.
that be a fun thing to do?
Yeah, it would be. That would be a good project. Maybe you could take it to the conservatorium and see if there's some students there who want to do that.
Yes, I trained at the conservatorium myself, and I was an opera singer, but now I do concerts around the nursing homes, and that keeps me alive, and they love it. So.
Yeah, so really you haven't fallen far from the tree. My goodness, she might be your great aunt, but you also sing and are interested in the arts and an exceptional artist as well. I've got some paintings here that you have done.
Now that's not actually, that's another project that's within...
Another project.
Well, we're doing a story about Dame Nellie Melba within the Fab Fakes, but we've decided to call it the Fab Century.
Fab Century.
Because this year we are celebrating the century of the First World War.
Yes.
And it was brought to my notice. I hadn't really thought about it myself, I can't say, because someone said to me about the light horse. And I said, well, do you know, I was born in Harden, Murrumbara, and went to school in Harden, Murrumbara. The light horse originated in Harden, Murrumbara.
Yes.
That is the statue that is in the middle of the town on the highway that blocks the town of the light horse. They took the young men off the properties or the farms who were good riders and their strong horses. Which
would have been most of the men and young boys.
All 18, 19-year-olds.
Oh, yes.
And they took them, and that's how they formed the light horse.
Light horse.
But as a conjunction to that, my father-in-law was also a colonel in the light horse in Egypt. And I have his sword with the handle, which is all signed by King George.
Isn't that amazing?
And that is going to be shown at the Fab Fakes,
at
the art house, as well as some of these photos and the story.
Gail, you have an absolute treasure trove here.
Well, I know, actually, it's all had to be made. I had to make sure it was all insured, because I've got art books as well going back to 1905 that I'll be displaying, not for people to touch, I can tell you.
Yes.
But and this sword, and I also have a set of 6 paintings which were done by an artist who was in New Zealand, now lives in Queensland, of the light horse and depicting all their watercolour. And they're just beautiful. So I'll be showing that as well.
And you also have quite a large statue coming in.
Well, this only was confirmed yesterday. I have a horse, a life-sized horse made out of horseshoes.
Wow!
That is going to be displayed with the light horse at the art house, starting on the 15th of November. Runs right through to the end of November. So.
And I tell you what, this is something to bring the kiddies and the grandkiddies to, because as it is the 100th year commemoration, and kiddies need to know about, what Aussies did for us back then, and the amount of skill and work and talent. This is just a fantastic exhibition.
It should be.
It's been put together by locals and is incorporating Tuggerah Lake Arts Society, which is just amazing. And if people want to become part of this, it's very exciting, isn't it?
I think it's very educational too.
Yes, and look, I get onto you, Gail?
Oh, absolutely, yes, they can. They can contact. They can get the Art Society at .org.au.
There we go.
TLAS, Tuggerah Lakes Art Society, or Fab Fakes at .org.au to get all the information. Or they can even get information from the art houses or on their blog as well.
I like this as well because it is going to bring locals obviously having a good look, but it's also going to bring tourists and people from all over Australia to come and have a look at this.
That's my aim.
This is a national.
That is my aim.
Yeah.
When I first thought of doing the story on Dame Nellie Melba, it really was that the young people have no idea who she is.
Absolutely no.
And this is crazy because she was one of the most famous people. In fact, she was Australian royalty in the 1900s,
very
early
much
1900s,
so.
or before then.
Yes.
And associating with royalty.
Yes.
Because she was very, very busy, had no time. You know, she came home to retire and to die in the later part. Yes, 1908, I think, around about that time.
Yes, goodness me. I was chatting to Paul of the Halley Killarney Bowling Club here, who is a chef by background, and I said to him, I'm very excited to have you on as the great niece of
Actually, I think it's just great. She was my grandfather's first cousin.
Grandfather's first cousin, there
yes.
we go.
And another little insight into this. Dame Nellie, of course, Helen Mitchell, came from Melbourne, but her father came from Scotland around the middle 1800s as a young man with no money.
No.
But started a brickworks in Melbourne.
Right.
Now, all the old historic buildings that are still standing in Melbourne are of Mitchell bricks.
Isn't that amazing? There we go. Goodness me, you have a few books in you. I tell you what, Gail. Well, you let us know how you get on after the exhibition. We'd love to have you back on and have a chat more about. Look, there's so many so many topics here. We could talk about Dame Nellie. We could talk about the Light Horseman, Fab Fakes, and I tell you what, there's some history there as well.
There is.
So we'd love to have you back and have a chat about that.
I'd love to do that.
Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate that. We'll let you get back to getting your gloves on and putting out some...
I actually have bought a couple of pairs of gloves in case anyone wants to have a look, but it really has to be monitored.
It does, it does. You have to look after these things. Thank you so much, my dear. I can't wait for the exhibition. It's going to be great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Fantastic. Thank you.